Hi Year 5, it's Mr Hawkins here. Today we're going to be calculating the perimeter of shapes, and as you can see there's a definition of perimeter, which is the total distance around the outside of a shape. So we can see we've got a rectangle here, and you have two sides which are 5 centimeters long, and we have two sides which are 3 centimeters long. You can see that those sides that I've just mentioned there, the opposite sides are the same length. So today, when you're looking at lots of the shapes you're going to be finding the perimeter of, it's really important that you remember all of your properties of shapes. So that'll be stuff that you've done in year 2, year 3, year 4. All right, so really remember all of those things. Let's go back to the example that we've got in front of us here. Once you have all of the measurements for each side of the shape, you're then able to calculate the perimeter, and it's really simple then. It's just a matter of adding all of those values together. What I will say is be really careful with the values, because you might be working with millimeters, centimeters, meters, or perhaps kilometers, depending on the size of the object that you're finding the perimeter of. So be careful with your addition. So if we take a look at this example that we've got here, it's quite simple. We've got 5 centimeters plus 5 centimeters plus 3 centimeters plus 3 centimeters. Now, we don't need to use any written methods for that. Able to do that really easily in our heads. 5 and 5 equals 10. 3 and 3 is 6. Add them together and you have 16 centimeters. Okay, so we've got some other examples here, and these are some of the sorts of examples that you're going to be having a go at today. And as I said earlier on, it's really important that you remember the properties of shapes. As I talked in the last example there, we've got rectangles and we've got squares, so it's really important that you think, well, okay, opposite sides are equal, so if I know that this is 7 centimeters, that's going to give me a pretty good clue about what the length of this side is. And again, if I know this is 3 centimeters, then again I'm going to know what the opposite side is. All right, moving down to the square, we know that we've got one side here of 6 centimeters long, and if you remember the work that you've done on shape, you will know that squares have equal sides. All sides of a square are equal length. All right, so you're going to be able to figure that out fairly easily. Once you've done that, it is literally, remember, just a question of adding those sides together. Remember, the perimeter, I will say it again, is the total distance around the outside of the shape that you are looking at. Okay, so this is the last example. I just want to talk you through. I won't spend too long on it. I just want you to be a bit more careful when you encounter some of these slightly more unusual looking shapes. So here we have a star. What I really want you to do is to make sure that you are looking at all of the clues that the questions provide you with. So obviously you can see, the main clue is that you've got 18 centimeters there, and that all sides are equal. So the 18 centimeters is each one of these sides here is 18 centimeters. All right, so if you know that they're all equal, then it's quite easy for you to see how long they are, and then it's just a question of you finding the perimeter, remember, which is the total distance around the outside of the shape. Now, what I want you to think about here is how many sides does this shape actually have. All right, now you can easily count those, but what I want you to do is then use that bit of knowledge and think really carefully about your place value before you actually go to answer that question. I'm not going to say any more. Perhaps we can have a little bit of a chat about that in tomorrow's video, maybe at the start. But really think about your place value, because it'll enable you to answer that question very quickly. All right. Good luck with the work. that we've set you today. It's an introduction to perimeter, and during tomorrow's lesson we'll be taking our learning just a little bit further, and we'll be looking at finding the perimeter for compound shapes. All right, okay, good luck, year 5.